What's up, everyone? Welcome to Pat's Chat. I'm Doug Kyed, joined as always by Michael Hurley. The Pat's Chat boys are at it again. Michael, how are you doing?
I just want to say I'm happy to see your skin tone does not appear to be hot pink. So another day of
Still not red.
sunscreen.
Yep.
Do you holster it? Do you think? Do you like spin it like a gunslinger and put it in your waistband and just continually update the SPF?
So I know a lot of people have been asking
Yeah.
about my sunscreen routine.
Drop the skincare routine, Doug.
And what I do, I apply sunscreen on my face with one of those
Hmm.
sticks. It's like a kid's stick. Get that all over my face. I spray once before practice on arms, legs, neck, and then I'm done. So one spray and one stick gets me through the whole practice.
Yeah. It's a good thing
Yep.
Tom Brady's not around anymore because he would be disgusted with
He
your
would just tell me to
belief
drink water,
in such poppycock.
stay hydrated. I do also stay relatively hydrated at practice. It was
That's
hot
good.
today.
Yeah, it was gross. I went in my backyard, was not a fan. So credit to you. I mean, credit to the football players, I guess, for playing football,
Hmm.
but really to the reporters for sticking it out on the hill. It gets hot there. It's boring. You're just stationary. It's like you just do nothing but generate heat.
Today there was a weird thing where one reporter, I won't mention him by name, don't want to make him feel bad.
All right, but I'll take
One
a guess.
reporter was standing up during 11 on 11s, which were being held like in the red zone.
Hmm.
And like that then forced everyone to stand up for 11 on 11s because like he blocked like one person's view. So then that person had to stand up. And then everyone, then that person blocked someone else's view.
Yeah,
And then like all of us were standing. It was like, if we all just agreed to sit, we
yeah.
could sit for this.
I'm gonna
But
say that was a Mike Giardi move. Typical
it was not
Giardi.
Giardi.
Yeah, it
Giardi's a big
was.
towel. He sits on a towel for practice.
Okay. What do you sit on?
I usually try to bring a towel, but today I was forced to stand, which
This is
we'll get into Patriots in a second here. Right now we're talking about sitting versus standing.
ass chat.
Um, I think I will personally say that I sweat less if I'm standing because there's less like I don't know
There's
body
airflow.
mass folding on top of body mass.
Gross.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Standing can help, but
Anyways, Doug, the Patriots put on the pads and ran into each other today, and you were
strap the
there to
pads
tell
on.
us all about it.
Yeah, my cat wants to get on air again.
Oh
It's
God.
not going to happen this time. He's screaming at me though. If you hear something in the
Yeah.
background going, meh, it's my cat just yelling at me. Um, yeah, they put on the pads, and I would say it's been a somewhat uneventful first 5 days of training camp. Christian Gonzalez did get hurt though, so obviously we have to talk about that. But like for Drake May specifically, I feel like I spend most of the time being like, what is Drake May doing? There's been a few highlight plays, but overall it hasn't been like I don't know, nothing revolutionary from the offense so far that we've seen. I feel like.
I have a thought on that, and you can
Hmm.
tell me if it's accurate or not. But I did already say it on TV, so it's kind of already out there. I'm kind of cement. Everyone's buzzing about what I said, but it seems like just from following your reports and the reports of others
Hmm.
that they're almost treating Drake May like a rookie, almost sort of giving him sort of the easiest tasks first and sort of building from there. Almost, I believe, uncoaching a lot of whatever last year was because last year there was a lot of snap the ball, run for your life, make something happen. And I think
Right.
they desperately want him to be more structured for the sake of himself, for the team, for the offense. And to do that, they're just starting. It seems like more ABCs than it is your XYZs.
It's been very safe. It's been a lot of short passes. Today it was a 2 hour practice, nearly 2 hour practice, and he dropped back 6 times. He was 5 of 6, and they were just all like check down screens. They were working in the red zone, so like yeah, short passes make sense there. There was he did hit Jalen Polk in the back of the end zone, but like it's nothing overly flashy. So I think I can abide by that take a little bit. I can agree with it that it does feel like they're stripping things down to basics, being like, all right, we're not trying to make too many huge risks right now. Take what's given, and then as the summer goes along, probably empty out a little bit more of the playbook, let him take some more risks, show off everything they can do. Like that being said, a few days ago he did deliver uh, strike to Demario Douglas about 60 yards downfield, where he rolled out to his right.
I
But
saw that
like
one. That was on
those
that was
plays
on the
are kind of
Twitter.
few and far between right now.
That seemed like a scramble sort of
Yeah.
off schedule throw, like the athleticism was
Right. That's not how it was written up, let's say.
sure. Kind of a
And
wobbler, but impressive he got it there on like the jump throw rolling to his right.
for sure. And
Yeah, he's
he
an
said
athlete.
earlier in camp that one thing he was working on was that he wants to scramble to throw rather than scramble to run. So I think that was a good example of that. And that could be a play that Demario Douglas could really thrive on because he's very fast and very athletic.
Scramble to throw. It's a great philosophy. It's a very dangerous. It's a very dangerous threat to have when you can scramble to throw. If you just scramble to run, you're going to get hurt, like he did
Yeah,
last year.
like he did last year. And even as like, not to get into this subject again, but I was talking about it with some of my colleagues recently, and like the amount of times that Drake May did get banged up last year, you would have kind of hoped that they would have had a better backup than Joshua Dobbs. And that's not
Yeah,
to say it should have been Joe Milton because I don't want to get back into that. Um, but yeah, like it just seems a little risky to be like, all right, this guy scrambles a lot. He got hurt a few times, and now your backup is a guy who ideally would be like a third string most places.
yeah. How I take it, the backup quarterbacks aren't exactly looking too good out there.
Um, I wouldn't say that Joshua Dobbs is like lighting the world on fire. Ben Woldridge is improving, I would say, but like you really don't want Ben Woldridge to be your backup,
Mm-mm.
um, unless he just comes out like incredible during the preseason. But like Ben Woldridge is getting a decent amount of opportunities, and I would say he's further ahead than some of the other rookies that we've seen come through. Here he's even like, I don't know, who would Trace McSorley, like he's above
He
what
was
Trace
bad.
McSorley was
He was
when
really
he was
bad.
with the team.
He was tough to
Um,
watch.
he was, and like Tim Tebow is the big example that I always try to use, who really struggled in camp. And like
Sure.
you've seen a lot of those guys struggle, and like Wooldridge is taking what's given to him, making some decent throws, and definitely not like embarrassing himself out there. I don't even
Yeah.
think he's thrown an interception yet, which not getting a ton of reps, but like he's a third string guy and he's
Mm.
he's making throws and not having them be picked off.
I'm just looking at Dobbs now. Every time I look at the stats, you're like, he was drafted in
I know.
2017. Do you know how many passes he's thrown in the NFL?
120?
549, but
Oh
that's
wow.
8 seasons.
Right.
It's not a lot of action. 3-12 as a starter, 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, a passer rating of 78.1. It's not. You're right. If Drake May, we don't need to do doomsday. If he,
No.
if he gets an arm severed off in a manufacturing accident, that would be doomsday. We don't need to do that. I think he's going to stay away from the dangerous machines. But let's
Hopefully not.
say he drops his shoulder into someone and sort of jams it, and
Right.
it's 2 weeks he can't throw. You can't feel too good for those 2 weeks. So you're right. It's not like they ignored it. It's just the decision they made might not be the best.
Yeah, and I feel like in 2023 there was like a little bit of Joshua Dobbs magic when he
Right.
took over.
Yeah.
But like overall that season he went 3-9, you know?
Let me see.
13
20.
touchdowns, 10
I'm trying. I
interceptions.
remember like the big. So he was the starter to start the year for Arizona, September 10th. So it's got to be week one.
I guess he
And
played for two teams that year.
yeah, he got traded. Remember, to the Vikings.
Yeah.
And once he went to the Vikings, he got off to an okay start. 2 touchdowns in his debut, 1 touchdown the next week, 1 touchdown and a pick the next week. But then he had a touchdown and 4 interceptions against the Bears,
Mhm.
and Dobbs' magic was over.
Yeah. So I guess like in some ways you say like you're screwed if your backup if your starter goes down anyway, but it just feels like right now there's a lot of like weird like pseudo starter second string guys out there, and I wouldn't put Dobbs in that category like I would
Mm,
some of these other guys who are floating around. But maybe players like that don't want to play under Drake May because there's like no possibility of winning the job, you know? So they'd rather like compete with one another on the Giants, let's say, or compete with each other on the Browns, let's say.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. They've got a list here. This is Sports Illustrated. It's a list. It was done in March, so it's a little dated.
Yeah.
Best backup quarterbacks of 2025. Do
Mm.
you know where Dobbs ranked?
26th.
24th. So pretty
Wow, I
much
was
nailed it.
close. Yeah.
Um, But right behind him is Will Levis, who's out for the year. So you can take it with a grain of salt. So some of the better ones, if we want to finish this exercise, you've got number 1, Kirk Cousins. Okay, doesn't really count. 2, Jimmy G. Pretty high ranking for Jimmy G, but obviously tons of experience there.
Seems a little high, yeah.
It seems like he might play with Stafford being injured already. Daniel Jones at 3, that's kind of pushing it. Jake Browning. So if Jake Browning's the 4th best backup quarterback, maybe this isn't worth talking about. You know?
I get, yeah.
Mac
This
Jones,
list is weird
6th.
because like I don't know who put this together. I don't want to call them out or anything. But
I
yeah, like
do.
having like Jackson Dart as
Yeah.
5, and what's his name?
Brissett is 10th.
Like Jalen Milrow is
Yeah, stuff you can't know.
22nd. Like I would not call Jalen Milrow one of the top backup. Like you
I'm
can't really
guessing.
say he's a better backup than Dobbs at this point, right?
Oh, sorry. This was May. I was going to say, you're talking about rookies in this. It was May 30th, not March 30th.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why
But
the
like,
rookies are
yeah,
in there.
I
But
would
yeah.
take Cousins, Garoppolo, Jones, Browning, Mac Jones, Mariota, Dalton, Willis, Brissett, Howell, O'Connell, Rush, Minshew, Wilson, Hooker. Like I would take all
Sure.
those guys over Dobbs.
Except Mac Jones. I don't think that could happen here
I don't think it could happen, but
specifically. I think.
like in this vacuum world, Tyrod Taylor. I don't know
Yeah.
enough about Tanner McKee.
Not
I think Stidham is a better backup. Heineke definitely a better backup. Pickett a better backup. And like I would say Mason Rudolph's a better backup than Joshua Dobbs, right? And he's ranked below.
I guess what I'm getting at by going through that list
Trubisky.
is it's kind of like 90% of teams are screwed if their starter goes out.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. And what
So
did you make of Joe Milton's comment? Did you see Joe Milton's comments
yeah,
this week?
I mean,
Do
I
you
don't
think
know
he
if
was talking about Drake May or Jacoby Brissett? Or do you
well, I
think he
don't
was
know if
talking about Gerard Mayo or Alex Van Pelt?
well, for anyone who missed it, Joe Milton basically said, "Yeah, Dak has been awesome. It's helped me through. I've been in another building. I know how it is. This one's great." And it's like, I don't know that he would have expected Drake May to give him advice on how to be a pro, considering they were both rookies, right?
I mean,
And
yeah. So, yeah.
unless he just wanted to say, "I don't like Drake May that much," but it could have been. I mean, under the context, it would have had to have been Jacoby Brissett, who you remember it was when he was benched, right? And
Yeah.
Drake May took over. He had that interview and he was like, "Yeah, man, people look at the numbers, but everyone around me sucks."
Yeah.
And it was like, that's a weird comment from a guy who's supposed to be like a standard veteran, like the ultimate leader guy. Like I don't know that he ever I think he was fine with the fact that there was rookies and he'd have to help them in some ways, but I don't think he was like, "Yes, my job is to help these gentlemen become professional quarterbacks."
Right. Yeah. So the whole quote was,
Which is like I said this last year was that's good. Like if you're Drake May and the veteran starter is like, "Here, you're the starter. This is what's," it's like that's not how the NFL works. Like you got to earn it, you got to compete for it.
yeah.
So like I thought that the way Brissett approached that was fine. Like I don't it seems to be more of a Joe Milton issue than a Brissett issue.
Dak is a great leader. All respect to him. He literally goes out of his way to help me. No matter if the coach is talking in the meeting, he literally goes out of his way to help. I've been in another building. I know how that goes. It's just very different over here. So, yeah, it probably is talking about how like Brissett or May wasn't helping, or like Milton felt like they weren't helping him. But I also did wonder like if like I wonder if he's also saying like if someone had talked during a meeting in New England, they would have gotten like yelled at or something. I don't know. You know?
Not in Gerard Mayo's land, I don't think, but I don't know. Maybe coaches didn't talk. Maybe they didn't learn anything.
That's certainly possible too. That's what Keon White was essentially saying back in June, if you remember.
Right. He likes to be coach. I want to ask you this,
Although
Doug.
Keon White, did I not to interrupt you? I'm sorry, but I did want to bring this up. This is a wide ranging conversation right now. We'll talk about all the things that have been happening
Yeah.
in training camp, which I guess we're kind of doing. But Keon White was asked the other day how what he thinks of Mike Vrabel, and he was like, "My overall thing is like, does he help us win? Like, is he a good coach? Does he help us win?" And then someone has to follow up like, "Well, do you think that Mike Vrabel is a good coach?" And he said, "Yeah, he's pretty good." And then someone asked like, "Why?" And he said, because he helps me get better or something like that. But like I with Keon White quotes, at a certain point, I think like I don't want to say they have to be ignored, but I think you have to like read them or hear them differently than they would be coming from like any other human being.
Mm.
Because like if any other human being was asked about Mike Vrabel, like any other human being on the Patriots asked about Mike Vrabel, and they said like, yeah, he's pretty good. Like you'd be like, whoa, what? Like, what does that mean? Like that's wild. That feels like a shot. But Keon White just like says things in a way that no one else says them,
Well,
and like
Doug,
seems to have a
he
different way of speaking and existing. So like to Keon White, I think him saying like, yeah, he's pretty good is like possibly even like
right.
effusive praise.
Well,
But
he his
I
introduction,
do want to throw that out there about him.
the
Yeah.
way everyone in New England learned of Keon White was when he immediately went viral by getting drafted and
Right.
reacting like this. Just absolutely nothing. So yeah, he's
Yeah.
very stoic, I would say.
He's stoic and he's just
Understated. Understated.
he's very like different. He's a unique
Yeah.
human being who says and does things very differently than other people. I don't know if I said this on this podcast or not, but I talked to him last year. I was like, oh, like how are things different from your rookie season? He was like, well, I didn't talk to anyone my rookie year. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I didn't speak to anyone. I was like, why? I was like, I don't know. Just like to like read people before I like
Mm.
start speaking. And I'm like, so you just didn't talk your entire rookie year? He was like, yeah, basically no.
It's like a
So
hunter.
like in some ways, I don't think I was talking to other reporters about this. I don't think it's an act, but I also think that he kind of like exists in a intentional way. I
And
think
then
he
he
like
wants to be an enigma.
right like I think he's doing it for a reason. Like I don't think it's an act. I don't think it's a put on.
Hmm.
But yeah, so when you see the quote that Keon White thinks that his coach is pretty good, I just wouldn't take it that
It's
harshly, I guess I would say.
effusive
Yeah.
praise from that man. But I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you, Doug, because today was the first day the pads were on. A lot of
Yeah.
people get excited for this. It is like,
Yes.
now it begins. The
Real
warm-up's
football.
over. I
Yeah.
will say, reading you, you don't seem to have been overly blown away by what took place at practice today, based on the fact that we've talked about various other things so far.
There were one-on-ones which were fun to watch between the offensive line and pass rush. There was one-on-ones between wide receivers and cornerbacks, and then obviously there was 11 on 11 drills as well. But it's tough when they run the ball, I think like 28 times and they throw it like 10 because they're not tackling to the ground. So even on a run, you're like, I think that would have been a 1 yard gain. I think that would have been a 1 yard loss. I think that would have been a 5 yard gain. But there's really no way of actually knowing that. And it's hard to watch all of the different parts all in one glance from a side. So it's like, I think that that's
Well, I
why
think
I'm
what
not
you're
coming at
saying,
this overly excitedly.
like when a run play is like off tack, like between the tackle and the guard, call it, and
Yeah.
you're 600 yards away on a hill, you're not really consuming it the way you normally consume
Right.
football.
Even like 100 yards away on a field, you're like, oh, it's a pretty good block by Will Campbell. Or like you only watch like one thing through binoculars at a time. So I
No
don't know.
replays.
I would say overall the defense came out on top today. They were more impressive than the offense, which I think in some ways you would expect with a new offense and just the way that the roster is constructed. But I thought the one-on-ones were actually pretty interesting between the wide receivers and cornerbacks. Kayshon Boutte beat Christian Gonzalez twice, and that was before Christian Gonzalez got hurt. So I think that was a positive for Boutte. Maybe not the most positive thing for Christian Gonzalez, but I think we've seen over the last 2 years that the way that Christian Gonzalez plays in practice is not always the way that he plays in games. I think he's a better game player than practice player. I think he spends a lot of practice trying new things. Stephon Diggs didn't have the greatest one-on-ones, which I think was maybe a slight disappointment. It would have been fun to see him like really pop off and look like Stephon Diggs, but he reached for a ball at one point and dropped it. That was up against Christian Gonzalez. He had a pass broken up by Marcus Jones when he was out there. And overall, over the last like 2 to 3 days, Diggs just hasn't done a whole lot. So still waiting for that big breakout from Stephon Diggs. But yeah, that was like the biggest takeaways for me from one-on-ones. Offensive line one-on-ones. Will Campbell did get blown up a couple times by Keon White, but he was much better in 11 on 11s. So I'm not sure if we still have like a perfect picture of what Will Campbell is going to look like at left tackle. But when the whole team was out there, when he's situated left tackle, when he's got guys next to him, I wouldn't say he was like perfect today, but he didn't allow any sacks and he looked solid in the run game.
All right. Fair enough.
So that was my
I heard he got
biggest. Yeah,
I heard he got put on his tuchus.
he did. He got thrown on the ground a couple times by Keon White in those
Would
one-on-one
you
situations.
would you classify that a welcome to the NFL moment?
It was definitely a welcome to the NFL moment.
It's like, oh crap.
Caleb on Chasen had like 2 would-be sacks today. Seems like he's having a really good camp. He hasn't done a whole lot in the NFL since he was a first-round pick, but I think he's still only like 25, 26 years old. So maybe this is the Caleb on Chasen breakout year. Does that excite you?
I think so. I think there's, some elements of their pass rush is in desperate need of being, I
Yeah.
don't know what percent better than they were last year, like 300% better than
Yeah.
last year. So I don't think he's someone that can single-handedly change it, but he is someone obviously. I mean, as let me say, he's only making $1.4 million. So any contributions you get from him would be quite the impressive pickup.
And he's going to be the rotational third pass rusher. It certainly looks that way where Harold Landry and Keon White are going to be the starters, and Chason is going to be the backup coming in on third down.
Can I ask
Spell
you a
Landry,
question?
spell Keon White.
Can
Yeah.
I interrupt you?
Yeah.
I think that's the first time I've heard anybody mention Harold Landry since camp started.
He's actually been pretty good.
Huh. Maybe I'm just not
On
reading the right tweets.
I think he's doing things that may not necessarily be like tweet worthy, but today he blew up a screen by just like coming off the line and rushing Drake May faster than he had a chance to like read the play and recover. And he's just like been in the backfield a decent amount. He's been a starter. I think it could wind up being a pretty good year for Harold Landry, especially if they kind of let him pin his ears back and get after the quarterback as much as possible. Because I've overall been impressed. I think one big thing is that he hasn't talked to us yet. I'm not sure why.
Mm.
He just like hasn't hit the podium yet. But like when he talks, maybe that's when everyone's going to be talking a little bit more about Harold Landry.
Mm.
He beat Morgan Moses in one-on-one pass rush drills. So yeah,
I have
there
to
too.
be honest with you,
Yeah.
and it's nothing personal. I'm not attacking you. I'm not. I just hope you don't take it. It's I think my least favorite football term is pin their ears back or pin his ears back and go after the quarterback. I get it. I know. I think we've talked about this before. I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I don't know what we're talking. Like, the edge rusher's going after the quarterback. I'm like, what do we? I don't
It
know.
is like an
Why does
exclusively it's
yeah?
an
Why does the
exclusively pass
receiver?
rush term at this point.
Why
Yeah.
can't a wide receiver pin his ears back and go deep?
He could. Yeah.
Or like,
Well, I
I don't
think
know, a
what
linebacker dropping into coverage.
did it come from like a what do we even know what it came from?
I'm looking it up.
Cats? Dogs?
Pin his ears back, meaning I think dogs. I think it's a dog thing. We'll go to Reddit, which has never been wrong. It's gonna take a while.
Is it?
Pin your ears back.
Pin one's ears back.
These are different meanings than I would have thought. I thought it's like kind of like putting on a swim cap so you can go faster.
Oh.
But none of these on the idioms website, none of them. One is harshly reprimand someone. One is to definitively defeat someone. One is to beat or strike someone, and one is to listen carefully. None of that is what we mean by that.
I'm looking at the origin, meaning and history of pin one's ears back.
This is
Means to
messed
stay
up.
alert. Yeah, I don't know.
This is messed up. We both agree we mean it to mean like a dog
Like
pointing its
attacking
ears.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, going faster, like doing one thing, like targeting. This is messed up. I
Yeah,
thought
I
it was
mean
like an
it's
aerodynamic thing.
right.
Maybe horse racing or something.
Greyhound racing? Yeah.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, today's the 23rd anniversary of the Blink-182 show at Suffolk Downs.
Oh, I was at that one.
Yeah, me too.
That was a good one.
July 28th, 2002.
Imagine not.
23 years ago. That's too many years ago.
I thought it was 2001.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it was
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Yeah, it was the end of freshman year.
Yeah, so
The
2006, 24
definition
years.
on dictionary.com, pin someone's ears back, is defeat, overcome, punish. As in the Red Sox had their ears pinned back by the Yankees, or you'll get your ears pinned back if you're late. This is simply not true. The internet needs a correction. Like this is crazy. Now I hate it even more.
Everyone who writes about football is using it incorrectly.
Either one. I don't like the saying, but I understand what you meant in theory.
Well, I think he'll be able to pin his ears back and get after the quarterback a little bit more this year. Keon White as well.
How much?
And
How
yeah,
much?
anything will be an improvement over last year with the
Right.
pass rush.
How much are you allowed to talk about injuries?
I think a decent amount. Yeah. So Christian Gonzalez went down. He was reaching for his left hamstring when he came off the field. So he was able to walk off the field under his own power, but like real slow, definitely limping, disappeared into like a medical shed and never reemerged. So I think they probably took him out the back and like carted him back to the locker room or whatever.
Hmm.
I'd be surprised if we saw him. I don't know. I guess like I don't know this whatsoever. So this is like a pure guess, but like when a guy injures his hamstring during training camp, that's typically like you probably don't see that guy for like a week.
I would say
Um,
more.
like a week, like at least a week, I would say. Yeah, like
Yeah.
if this is as minor as possible, I think you still play it safe with Christian Gonzalez and don't see him out there for a while.
But did it seem more than as minor as possible? I know that's hard to tell. If you know
I
how
think
these
if it
guys
was like a
are.
torn hamstring, he probably wouldn't have walked off the field.
Right.
So that's all I'm like really gauging on is that they allowed him to walk the length of the field into that shed. And he was doing it slowly, but like since he was pointing at his hamstring,
Mm,
I don't know. Once again, I'm not a doctor. Like I would have been more concerned if it was like Achilles, knee,
sure.
ankle could have only been like one or a few things. So like it being seemingly a hamstring, I don't think we're talking about like a disaster here. But
Mm,
I don't know that for a fact. Maybe something comes out. But like I said, like I think torn hamstring, you probably don't walk off the field, right?
yeah, probably. It's probably more in the tweak, pull,
Right.
minor tear. But I would say the reason I said longer is because it's like, let's say you come back after a week, but it's not quite healed, and then you're dealing
Yeah.
with it again. So like, there's really no reason. I think they know what they have in Christian. Like of all the people
Yeah.
that
For
aren't
sure.
proving themselves, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, to Mike Vrabel, like I think he should be in pretty good comfort to
I
be
feel
positioned to
the
wait
same
a
way
little
about
bit.
Carlton Davis right now too. Like Carlton Davis has been held out of most of the practices. And it's
Yeah.
like as a cornerback, you don't really need to like fit into the defense the same way that maybe like a linebacker
Right.
or a safety or a defensive tackle does.
There's not a
You're
ton of
kind of like
scheming.
it's called an island for a reason. So
Sure.
you're kind of able to be on your island over there. And if anything, I think those injuries allow guys like Marcus Jones to play a little bit more outside. Marcellus Dial get some run. DJ James, name to remember for Patriots fans because he's getting his hand on the ball more than anyone else, and he's vying for one of those backup cornerback jobs. He was a sixth-round pick by the Seahawks last year out of Auburn. Spent most of the year on the practice squad with the Patriots, but yeah, like I would. He's been more impressive than guys like I don't know Marcellus Dial, Isaiah Bolden, guys who've been around longer. So yeah,
All right.
DJ
That's
James.
added to the list. Tough one to say if you've had a few drinks. DJ
D,
James. You
DJ
sound a
James.
little slurry.
Couple of JJ, yeah, sounds in the
Gotta
middle
be
there.
careful. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, there's not like it's not as if new team. It's not as if Carlton Davis is like, oh my god, I'm not going to know what to do when I get out there. Like, it's
Right.
cover the guy. You know which guy to
Yeah,
cover and cover him.
I would
Generally
agree with
speaking.
that. Jared Wilson been heavily involved at center and left guard still. Travion Henderson playing a ton at running back, though like usually behind Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. Kyle Williams getting a lot of run, but not necessarily standing out that much. Like among wide receivers, I think Demario Douglas has probably been the most impressive,
Okay.
but it's also not like he's like catching like 7 passes a day.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it's still been like Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, and Stephon Diggs as those top three wide receivers. Still waiting to see what that looks like when Mac Hollins comes back. Jalen Polk came back to practice
Yeah,
today.
scored a
That was
touchdown. You
a
said.
scored a touchdown, which was I mean I think I don't know like people say unfairly maligned or like fairly maligned. I don't know if like Jalen Polk is fairly or unfairly maligned, but he's maligned in general.
Hmm.
Anytime you tweet about Jalen Polk, I feel like Patriots fans, at least one will be like, cut the guy, cut him now.
Hmm.
It's like, well, is it great that he suffered a soft tissue injury sometime between passing his physical and the first day of practice? No, not for a guy who's trying to make the roster, but like, I don't think he meant to do that.
Sure.
I
Probably
don't think that
not.
was intentional on his part.
Yeah.
And
Probably not.
comes back, was playing a little bit in the slot, a little bit outside. Just another guy in the mix, which there's a lot of those guys at wide receiver right now. A lot of guys in the mix.
We have some developing news. We got a tweet from Topher. You want to? It looks like Joe Milton followed up on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want to know what he said?
Yeah.
It says, "LOL. I knew they were going to try to add some BS to this. Crying, laughing emoji. Crying, laughing emoji. Like my dog Drake May. Cool Ash. Don't have none against him at all. And ND. I don't know what ND stands for.
And yeah.
Other than bro, like y'all making something out of nothing. Like all Joe ever wants to do is compete. I did what I had to do, scout team, etc. Like didn't ask for none, but an opportunity. Did not mention Jacoby Brissett. So I think we cracked the case there. Like, I think we nailed it. But yeah, I mean, there's no way that
Listen,
like it's like you can't make the NFL. People like forget, like we all want them to be like perfect souls and like you
I
can't make
know.
the NFL if you're not a little crazy, like in believing in yourself. Like you've got to believe you're the best athlete in the world to make it in the NFL, generally speaking. So like when
I
egos go awry or whatever, it's like, well, yeah, it's kind of part of the situation.
I also I want players to say interesting things like Joe Milton did, but like when someone says something interesting like that, it's not necessarily like the media or fans' fault for like trying to figure out what it means.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it was a
And
clear
like,
shot.
right, like when you're saying like I've been in another building, like that means you're taking a shot at the Patriots. Like,
Right.
and if you're gonna have a problem with the reaction, then like I hesitate to say like don't say that, but I think I'd almost rather a player not say it at all than to like take offense to the reaction of them saying something
Hmm.
that was taking a shot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did back to sports? I know it's limited action, and we got little Jalen Polk side. Like Travion Henderson, does he look as good? I mean, there's a lot of excitement for him, and I think it's
Yeah.
because even the most casual of college football viewer like myself saw him look great. So like I think there's a lot of people that have high expectations. How did he look? I saw one clip today where he was in that one-on-one drill where you kind of run away from each other and then run at each other. He had a nice little cut.
He made Marte Mapu look foolish in one-on-one coverage drills. Ran straight Marte Mapu. Marte Mapu like held him, probably would have been a penalty, but then still Trevion Henderson was able to get like 5 yards of separation from him and catch a touchdown. So that was his best play of the game. He's had a couple drop issues and he also fumbled a handoff from Joshua Dobbs today. So like I would say that Trevion Henderson has not been perfect so
Mm,
far. But I still expect him to be heavily involved. Like I just I do remember Josh McDaniels, like they drafted Shane Vereen in the second round and then barely used him. They
yeah,
drafted James White in the fourth round and then barely used him, but they also had much better rosters at the time. So I
right. I
wouldn't
don't.
necessarily say I expect that to happen with Trevion Henderson this year.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel
but
like
like he might
since
not be like the guy to start the season. It's probably still gonna be
yeah,
Ramondre Stevenson.
I don't think they do the what do they call it, the red shirt year anymore. Ever since I think Sony Michel in 2018 kind
Right.
of changed that.
Yeah.
Ever
And I
since then, they've
think,
drafted guy like Stevenson played as a rookie. I'm trying to think of some other people, but they kind of did away with that. That
yeah.
was
And
when
like,
you were like the best team in the world, and you were
right.
adding on the margins, and you're like, this guy could be good, but we don't need him right now. That's how
Right.
the Patriots drafted and developed in the 20 teens,
In
2000 teens.
2011, they had Danny Woodhead, Kevin Falk, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, Stephen Ridley, and Shane Vereen. So, yeah, like when you've got Danny Woodhead and Kevin Falk both to handle third down duties, it's like, all right, I guess we don't need to use the guy we drafted in the second round.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas now, when I mean, obviously, Roger Stevenson and Antonio Gibson are good, decent players, but not to the same degree and not as
Damien
trustworthy, I would say.
Damien Harris was another one who played as a rookie.
Yeah,
That's who I was
definitely.
trying to think of. I knew I was forgetting
So, yeah.
somebody.
So yes, I would expect them to be used much more heavily
Actually,
than Shane Vereen
uh,
was.
he got 4 carries as a rookie.
Damian Harris?
Hmm.
Oh, I
So I
should have
was
remembered
wrong.
that too. Yeah.
I was wrong about
So
that.
maybe
Did he
there
get
was one
hurt? He
other
played in 2 games. This is
another red
this
shirt.
is this is broken brain Pats chat. How do I not remember what was the Sony Michel at 247 yards? I mean, 247 carries. Maybe just I don't know. I
Was
screwed
that
up, Doug. I screwed up. 2019. I brought great
2019?
shame to the Pats Chat podcast because I said, "Oh,
And I
Damian
just
Harris."
blindly agreed with you.
Yeah, this is. Can we delete this? Can we go? We'll delete this. We're gonna delete this part. No one
He
will
was a
know.
healthy scratch for most of his rookie season, Damian
Yeah,
Harris.
that's embarrassing what we just did. And I brought you there. I held your
You
hand and
did.
pulled you into Embarrassville, USA. So my bad.
Yeah.
I
So,
felt, I felt like he played as a rookie. So I
well,
guess
as long as you feel that way, that's the most important thing.
that's true.
900 yards in 2021 for Damian Harris. Forgot about that.
I thought he was going to be real good. Very strong, man. Very big.
15 touchdowns that year too. Wow.
Yeah.
Out of
Sports.
the league on
Was
SEC
that
network or something at this point.
that was 2021? You said the Mac Jones rookie year.
Yeah.
Huh.
They were weren't they were like oh they were friends and like at Alabama, but he was a Pop Warner teammate of Jarrett Stidham, Damian Harris.
Pop Warner or Little League? Sometimes professional
Might have been Little League,
they
yeah.
say Little League, and I'm like, that's not what Little League means to me, sir.
Little League is baseball up
Right. It's
here
crazy. It's crazy.
in the north. But yeah, they're playing Little League. Anything else you would need to know or want to know out of camp? Obviously, like it's like I've watched 5 practices. The last one we did was after the first practice, so it just feels like there's like a lot of information
Yeah.
in my head
I would
that I
say
want to spit out.
we're interested in Kyle Williams and how he fared physically with the pads on. That was a question.
Hasn't done a whole lot outside of like the first catch of camp when he was looking great. So still waiting on some more Kyle Williams breakouts. I can we it's been done, but it was a conversation I had today. 2024 and 2024 Patriots draft class outside of Drake May, not looking great right now.
Okay.
Just to kind of go through it a little bit, and I know that
We touched on
Patriots fans
Polk.
don't necessarily want to like focus on the negative right now. But I think we've got a decent amount of like practices to gauge how these guys are all doing. Drake May, starting quarterback, looks like a great pick. Very smart for staying pat at number 3. Jalen Polk just practiced for the first time, got a touchdown, but not even really guaranteed a roster spot at wide receiver. Kane Wallace only played right tackle ever at Penn State, barely played last season. Now repping as a left guard behind Cole Strange and Jared Wilson. Like some reps with the first team, but primarily working with the second team.
Okay.
Layden Robinson, 3rd string right guard right now behind Michael Wenu and City So. So not a great place for Layden Robinson to be.
People liked him last year, right?
Gerard Mayo did.
Yeah.
But he had penalty issues and he had pass protection issues. So I don't necessarily fault the Patriots for seeing Layden Robinson and being like, I don't know. You got to prove it to us. Javon Baker, mostly getting like second, third team reps. Marcellus Dial, backup slot cornerback behind Marcus Jones. Joe Milton in Dallas. Jaheim Bell might legitimately be last on the tight end depth chart right now.
Okay.
You've got Hunter Henry and Jack Westover. Well, Austin Hooper's on PUP. So it'll be Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper as the top 2 tight ends. Jack Westover is currently the 2nd string tight end and receiving first team reps. Then you've got the 2 undrafted free agents, G. Scott Jr. and CJ Dippre. They're playing more than Jaheim Bell right now.
Okay.
I know it's a 7th round pick. I know Patriots fans did have high hopes for Jaheim Bell though, and just want to give a little bit of an update there. But a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be made up for the 2024 rookie class right now.
One thing that I just checked, because there are depth charts on the internet, but I checked the Patriots official website, and it's kind of a Belichickian move, I think, by Vrabel. It just says the offseason depth chart is currently not available. Check back during training camp. So, I mean, those are always done by content people, not the team, obviously.
Right.
But even to not have it up there, I like that they're kind of just like, you know what? We'll let the people figure it out on their own.
Did you see which 4 Patriots won the offseason awards?
I didn't. Hit me, Doug.
Do you want to guess 4 names?
Okay, so this is like the offseason workout awards.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hardest. All right. Are rookies eligible? Probably not, right?
There are no rookies on the list.
Okay. All right. So like hardest working Do you have to have do you have to be a returner to the team, or can you be a
Nope.
newcomer?
There's new guys.
Okay. Because I feel like Diggs working back from a knee injury and being healthy would put him on a list like that. But I don't know if he won. Did he win?
He
He
did
got one?
not.
He should have,
Yeah.
Good
Fair.
leadership right off the bat. But all right.
There's a boat incident that might have kept him away from the.
You make a really strong point about the boat incident. Probably would be a disqualifying event. It's funny how that was not. I was just thinking about the knee and how hard you have to work. All right.
There's a boat incident with a bikini-clad woman.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Spillane if there's a new guy because he seems like someone that Vrabel has a crush on.
You're over 2.
Okay, 0 for 2.
So I'll end this. I'll end this exercise because
Christian Barmore,
Demario Douglas was 1.
Pop Douglas,
Pop Douglas, Cole Strange was one of them.
Would not have. He would have been lower. He would have been like my 50th guess probably.
Where would Kyrus Tonga have been on your list?
He was the next name I was gonna say, so you kind of robbed me of that one.
And tell me everything you know about Truman Jones.
He's got 2 last names. Presidential first name. Not familiar with his game, I'll be honest.
So I will say that when someone in the press box listed the 4 players who won, a media member said, "Who?" when they said Truman Jones. And then the person said Truman Jones. They said, "Who?" So
Harvard.
I know about Truman Jones.
Okay.
He went to Harvard. He was with the team last year. It feels like the team is high, like Vrabel or someone really likes Truman Jones, clearly because he was an offseason award winner. But he's getting like second team reps at defensive end.
He was Harvard captain in 2022.
He was also Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year in 2023.
Okay.
First team All Ivy League in 2022. Born in Boston, Massachusetts. Grew up in Atlanta. I don't know. Probably a really smart guy. Probably a really hard worker. And like among the guys who sneakily could make the roster, who certainly are not household names.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude, Doug. And I don't want to root against him. But let's say he becomes a regular and he's on the field for 70% of defensive snaps. That means we got to hear all of the color commentators tell us he went to Harvard. There should be a stipulation in everyone's contract. If you can only mention it once a season. We don't need it every single quarter. But yeah, good for him. Good.
It's kind of wild. There's never been a Jones president.
I know. That's a good point.
There's been a Truman, but no Jones. Maybe Truman Jones could be the first president with the last name of Jones.
Has there not been a Jones? That's pretty messed up.
Yeah. There's been Johnson. There's been Jackson. No Jones.
No Smith.
No Smith? Well, yeah.
Right.
Probably not.
Did you ever
go
be real embarrassing if I
Hall of Presidents at Disney World?
I've never been. No, I walked past it, but didn't really intrigue me, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's like a 30-minute show where it's just a bunch of audio animatronics of presidents. And I think at this point, people like cheer and boo certain presidents.
Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah. Disney World. Let's cheer and boo certain presidents. I always had it in my mind as if it's pouring out and you need to duck into somewhere for a half hour, that's where you go, right?
Yeah, but at that point, the line's probably like 45 minutes long, so probably not the time to go. But
I'm gonna go and boo some presidents.
Just boo all the early ones. Get out ahead of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That was good presidential talk.
Really good presidential talk. I don't know if there's... It feels weird that there's not more to talk about. I'm looking forward to more one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Looking forward to them doing more 11-on-11s when they're not so focused on the red zone. Because, like I said, training camp run drills, run periods don't do a ton for me, I would say.
I think that's also a sign of the times, because back in the early 2000s when they ran red zone, it was the peak of training camp because you had McGinnis and Harrison and everyone stuffing the line and the trash talking and
there was stuffing of the line. Like I said, the defense was solid. Jabril Peppers fired through the line at one point. That was fun to watch.
I was listening on the radio. I think it was EEI. Jones and Keefe were saying there was a long completion to Diggs, maybe I forget who, but it went for like 15, 20 yards, not long. It was a completion. But in real life, I guess Jabril Peppers would have
Oh yeah.
absolutely slaughtered the receiver, but like it's
Yes.
practice. So
Yes. That was to Stephon Diggs. And in my notes, it's 8, and then in parentheses, sack, possible INT by 5. So
yeah,
like Drake May probably would have been sacked on that play,
yeah.
and Jabril Peppers would have either jumped the ball and got an interception or just laid out Stephon Diggs. So
There's got to be some sort of mutual veteran respect there at practice to just not do either one of those things.
right, yeah, 100%. And like, yeah, I think, but overall, even though as we mentioned, like Will Campbell got thrown on his butt a couple times, I think overall it was not like a negative first practice for him. Held his own at 11 on 11s, and that's what you want to see. Like he's going to be the left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to weather the storm one way or the other, like no matter how he is, because I don't see them using Vidarian Lowe or DeMondre Jacobs in that role.
And he's going to lose some battles.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there have been some top 5 picks at tackle that can step in and be great right out of the gate.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is, he doesn't have the body type, I guess, because we talked about his arms for 6 months. Speaking of which, we did TV last week and you got yelled at a lot
7
by
months if you
Keldra.
include our TV session with Michael Felger.
What'd you make of getting yelled at the whole time about everything?
It was fun. It was great.
Yeah.
I'd do it again. I think it was like, yeah, I'd never done TV. I never worked with Felger before.
Yeah. You never really know, like you can prepare for the segment, but then he's going to get mad about Drake May planning a trip to North Carolina, and like that's the segment now.
Right. And I think even by like the third segment I did, I was like, okay, I know
Yeah.
that I'll have to have like a retort planned in case he
Mhm.
just like goes off the rails and starts yelling.
That was the good segment. That one, there was some good Vrabel back and forth, and I was just in the
Yeah.
middle going like this. Hmm. And they were like 3 minutes, and then they were like 2 minutes, and like 1 minute, and they're like, all right, see you tomorrow. And I was like, great job by
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. It
I nailed
was
it.
whether or not Mike Vrabel's under pressure. And
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
yeah. So yeah, so that was fun.
I
I'm
have a
sure I'll think of
question.
another Patriots thing, but I did have some off-topic things to get to as well. What's your question?
Well, mine is an off-topic thing, so if you want to get to yours first, but
No, go ahead.
have you
I don't
seen
want to
Happy
step on your
Gilmore 2
toes.
yet?
I haven't. I
Yeah.
wanted to last night. First of all, did you see it?
So we won't do any spoilers because if I'm listening to
Yeah.
a podcast and there's even a hint of a spoiler, I shut it off. I'm not going to do
Yeah.
any spoilers,
No.
but I want to mention a cameo.
Okay.
Can I do that? Would that ruin it for anyone? Like it's an Adam Sandler movie. There's a ton of cameos. Like
It won't for me. Fast forward 15 seconds if it's an
yeah,
issue.
it's a cameo by Travis Kelce, and it's just like nobody wanted this zero. And like the more I thought about it, I saw Taylor Swift post on Instagram like last Friday, like, "Oh, this movie's so funny. I'm
Oh.
watching it. Everyone should watch it." I'm like, "You literally cast this dork because you
Mhm.
knew it would get you a Taylor Swift, and she has probably 8 billion followers. It probably got a billion people to watch the movie, but I was like, oh, this guy sucks.
I sent that story to my wife with the caption, like, and I sent like, "What the fuck?" Like, WTF? Like, why did she
Yeah,
post
it made
about
sense.
this?
It crystallized
So
there.
now it makes sense.
And like, did he do a bad job? No, but it's just like, like I haven't even finished the movie, but like everyone has their opinions. I don't care. Nobody was saying like this classic sequel is going to need Travis Kelce. We got to make sure he's in it. It's a
That makes
golf
sense.
movie.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
I'll watch it. I feel like I've seen some varying reviews. Is there anything like egregiously not for kids in there?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I threw on the original last week just to
Yeah.
sort of fresh up. And like immediately he's putting like cones through his legs and
Right.
so you're kind of just like, yeah, probably not gonna show that to the kids.
Fair.
Unfortunately.
Do you regularly just like eat a lobster?
No. I've had like 3 lobsters in my life.
I hadn't had one for like 20 years. Just like, give me a lobster. I'll eat
Yeah.
a lobster. I did it yesterday. I was like, this is one of my last days on the Cape this summer. I'm going to eat a lobster.
It's a lot of work.
I don't think I'm going to do it again for 20 years. Like, I'll do it again in my life, but it's maybe not a juice worth the squeeze.
Absolutely.
As they say.
It's a ton of work. And it's like
really good, but
Is it
Lobster on a roll is also really good.
is it really good?
Parts of it were really good.
Yeah.
When you get into like the body and all that green stuff comes out,
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, ugh, that's
My
kind of
great
gross.
grandmother used to eat that,
You're
which is
supposed
like,
to.
are you? Isn't it like halfway digested
It's
seaweed?
like the spleen or something like that.
Oh, what do they
And
call it? Like tamuli or
yeah,
tabuli
something
or
like that. So I didn't. I was not gonna. It looked like guacamole.
tamale? No.
Um, but so my big
Google's helping.
takeaway here
Tamale.
is I did not pay an extravagant fee for this lobster. I got it from Moby Dick's in Wellfleet, which
Uh-huh.
perfectly respectable seafood restaurant down there, but I wasn't paying like $60 for this thing. A lobster. So I got a lobster and corn on the cob. I think that entire meal was like 300 calories, which for like the amount that you're paying for it, after you eat it and you're still hungry, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, why do people do this? Why don't they give you more food? A lobster and corn on the cob is not enough for a meal.
No. No. I like a lobster roll I'll get once a summer, and it's like,
Yeah,
that was $40 for
right.
like
It
the
feels
most substantial part of the lobster, at least.
the price does feel more justifiable when you're getting the whole lobster rather than like just a roll.
Yeah.
But after having eaten the full lobster again, like most of the meat could fit on a roll. Like you're not getting a
Right.
ton of meat out of that
And then
thing.
you're like sucking the legs. It's like I
I wasn't, yeah,
didn't get out of bed this morning so I could suck a lobster's legs. Like,
right.
grow
Yeah.
up.
It's a mess. You got to wash up your hands. Some people wear the bib. I
Yeah.
didn't wear the bib.
Yeah, no, not for me. I mean, like, I'll eat it, but it really isn't really. Yeah, I'm with you. 20 years from now, we can get a lobster together. I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
You're a big Cape guy.
I do like the Cape.
You like the Cape. I like the Cape. I grew up going to the Cape. My family had a house in Falmouth. Now my father and stepmother live in Yarmouth, right in the middle of the Cape. So, uh,
Nice.
Falmouth is obviously like its own sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like you take the Bourne Bridge and you just go there. Like that's kind of
Right.
it. Now I'm adapting to life, the Sagamore life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have to ask you how you deal. I'm sure you go off hours, off days, but there's no way you've avoided Cape traffic. And I just feel like
Yeah.
everyone talks about, oh, Cape traffic. What do you do, Cape? It is so much worse than it could possibly be understood that I feel like no one's doing anything to fix it. Like, no, they're making new
Right.
bridges, but like
Well, there's new bridges, but they're still only going to be 2 lanes, I think.
without 4-lane highways,
Yeah.
it'll never get better. And if 4 lanes go to two
Right.
lanes on a bridge, it will not get better. You have the Sagamore, the 2 lanes of Route 6 take up 1 lane, and then you have a merge from I think 6A. Like that is never going to work. And then the Bourne Bridge, someone was like, "What if right at the end of the bridge we put a rotary in
Yeah.
and just have chaos? Let's just do a
Yeah.
chaotic rotary right after the bridge." And it's just like this is from I looked it up. Route 6 was built in 1926. Not a lot of vehicular traffic going to
No,
and from the
because
Cape
it also goes to 1 lane sometimes too.
after like Yarmouth, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then if someone's going 30, everyone's going 30.
Right.
So it's just,
It's so I do go on off hours. I mean, like today, I drove from Truro to Foxborough at I left at 7:30 in the morning, and I hit zero traffic, and it took me 2 hours.
yeah.
So
But
that's
there's
the way
got
you
to
have to
be
do it.
times where you're like, oh, this is when we have to go to the Cape. And it's like,
I'm already fearing it for Saturday because we can't go until Saturday morning to the Cape. So it's like we just have to leave either Saturday at 8 a.m.
mm-hmm,
and hope there's not a ton of traffic already, or like wait it out a little bit, but then you're
yeah,
maybe missing the beach on one of the 2 days that you're going to be there. So I think
yeah,
my plan at least might be just leave at like 7 in the morning, try to skip it, try to
yeah,
miss it. But yeah, on my way down on Saturday night, I hit traffic, and it was the first time I've hit Cape traffic in a very long time, and it put me in such a bad mood.
yeah. It kind of ruins the whole Cape. It ruins the whole thing because you're just cranky.
Yeah, and like I was meeting up with my wife and daughter at like my wife's mom's friend's house, and I like kept pushing back my ETA, and then it was like clear that like they were gonna get pizza brought to the house like before I got there. So then
Mhm.
I started to even get like a little bit salty about like, oh great, now I'm gonna have cold pizza when I get there. And like, and I
Mm.
was getting there like 5:45. So like I like arrived in a bad mood, then immediately was like, whatever, everything's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna be in a bad mood. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna ruin this time for everyone. I'm gonna be cool. But yeah, like traffic does put me in a bad mood because I was taking the Sagamore and like yeah, because there's also a rotary around there, and like rerouted me to go through Wareham, which like didn't do anything. It just like put
No.
me in traffic somewhere else, and
Yep.
then driving through like crappy Wareham, and I was like, ah, this is so
Wow.
stupid.
Shots fired. But like the reason I say it's worse than
There's a
ever,
portion of Wareham that's a little crappy. Let's be honest here.
I was it was July 4th weekend, granted, but the advantage of not like renting or being in a hotel or whatever is like
Yeah,
I usually just stay there on Sunday and check Google and every hour or so see the red get less and less.
yeah.
It never got less. It was backed up,
Wow.
I don't know, 7 to 9 miles all day. So finally we left at I don't know 5 p.m. and got home, or maybe 6 p.m. and it was
Yeah.
so bad we got home at like 9:30. And then I checked when I got home at 9:30 and it was still backed
Oh
up
my
7 miles. And it's like
that's wild.
it just doesn't work anymore. And everyone
No.
everyone just accepts it. And it's time like there's woods next to the highway. You gotta make dirt roads. I don't care. Like there needs to be more.
Yeah.
It's not built for the modern society. And just the
I don't think a whole lot has changed since the Pilgrims were there.
on the roads and like the
Right.
population and how many more people are going there. Like when people went there in the 60s, it was probably 10% of the number of people going there now.
Yeah.
Like the demand, the infrastructure does not meet the demand. And it's one of the most Massachusetts things ever. Like, well, keep traffic. Well, what are you going to do? It's like, fix it. You travel for work. Like when
Yeah.
I went to Houston, now Houston's got to be one of the worst traffic cities in the
It's not
world.
a great city. Yeah.
But when you're going from one interstate to another,
Yeah.
like there's a 3-lane exit that goes up and around, comes down onto a highway, and 3 lanes exist. There's no merge point. Like
No.
there's no problem. Like these things have been solved to a certain degree, and we're just like,
The rotaries really don't help anything. I
no.
don't like you can't have them that close. It just causes issues.
But the
Um
shrubbery is beautiful on the Bourne Bridge. It's got big Cape Cod and shrubs.
it's
That's how you
true.
know
It
you're
is.
there.
It's how you know you're there. There's not a great place to get a picture of it though, I'd say. They need to fix that somehow.
That's
Get
a
a
good point.
clearer angle of it.
Just a driver's seat, which is against the law.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Fun fact, I read the Mayflower book this summer. I don't know if I already mentioned that, but I had an idea of New England when like the Pilgrims arrived that it was just like all woods, just nothing but woods. And I'm like, how did they get anywhere? How did they even find their way anywhere? Apparently, Native Americans just used to like burn lands. So there was like a lot of it was just cleared when the Pilgrims arrived, which I've always wondered about
Mm.
that. Like, how do you have paths? How do you like decide where to build houses without cutting down a bunch of trees?
Hmm.
Apparently, the Native Americans took care of it by just burning a bunch of land. Very
I
smart.
have some lore that I might have created in my own head, but I grew up in Arlington, and there's no like grid system. Obviously, there is in East Arlington, but like generally, you're just up in the woods and
Yeah.
hills, and the streets are all crazy. There's dead ends, there's dirt roads, and like there's no rhyme or reason to most of it. And in my mind, those have been like walking trails dating back to
Yeah.
pre-settler times. And I think to some degree, and granted, I made that up in my head. I think I'm right.
I think you might be because, like, in reading this book, there's like literally a street in Plymouth that just existed when the Pilgrims were there.
Mm.
So yeah, they just like kept building out Massachusetts from what the Pilgrims and what the original settlers did, and I think that's why there's some gridding issues. Boston, not a
Yeah.
very gridded city.
No. And then they
Yeah,
did the landfill situation, which is
right.
that's a whole other horse of a different color.
It is.
Um,
You're not going to go to the Newfound Glory Offspring show that we've been talking about for months. Well, are you? Right.
no, it would be
There,
like the
there might be
traffic
a
thing.
representative here.
You
Yeah.
going?
I might go with my wife, my daughter, and maybe my friend and my friend's daughter.
You got to get cheap tickets somehow though. Like I
So
actually said,
like I'm not willing to pay because there's so many tickets available. I would feel dumb paying more than like $5.
right, right.
Yeah.
There's not enough demand to charge
Right.
any more than that. Now I don't know what they do.
Like the
Like if they
cheapest
move you
current
up.
tickets on Ticketmaster are like 35. I don't
Yeah.
want to pay that much because that
Yeah.
seems silly when there's more than half of the tickets still available.
Well, that's the thing. I texted you the other day. Something fishy took place because
Right.
like half the tickets disappeared in full rows at a time. So like there's no way someone
Yeah.
went in and bought thousands. I don't know
No.
if they were given to giveaway competitions or whatever, but the cheapest ones on StubHub are 47 for the lawn.
See, that's still
That's
too much.
crazy.
Like I want a seat that's $10.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Or like $5 for the lawn and then just maybe don't go there. I don't
Apparently my
know.
wife is not a Pats Chat listener because I was recently showing her the seating map. She was like, "They have to cancel it, right? They're gonna have to cancel this." I was like, "Sister, we've been talking about this for
Been on this. Patch Chat
for
had it first. I'm
yeah,
looking now at the map, and it's
it still looks
something
fishy.
fishy happened because thousands of seats have been
It
taken
does, but
off.
like that lower though, like I don't even know what you would call it, like the 100 section, like the 1, 2, 3 section.
Yeah.
There's still just like so many tickets available.
Well,
One thing that
hold on,
I
hold on.
think,
For anyone, it's the amphitheater. So the second section, like there's three
yeah,
down low, then there's five on the next level. They're $100. They're $100. That's
you can't. It's on. You can't do that.
it's
Yeah,
$100. That's I think I said this like that's what you used to pay in the '90s to see like the Eagles. You know, like
right.
oh the Eagles, or like you don't pay that to see the Offspring and Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory.
No, the back row of that section is still $78.
It's crazy. I saw Newfound
The
Glory last year for like $35 at Roadrunner, and I could have like slapped them on the ankles if I wanted. It's like, why would I
right.
pay $100 to be a mile away in an empty
Yeah.
amphitheater at 7 p.m.?
Like the thing that does make me almost not want to bring Olivia is I don't want her to be like, "Oh, this is what a concert looks like."
Right. You
Like
could ruin music for her forever.
half full and like a bummer.
Yeah, I've seen clips from the tour too, and like it sells other places, but this
I
is
just
you got to go and I need live reports all night, so you kind
yeah.
of have to go.
I wonder if they just do move like everyone from the lawn and say like, "All right, this whole thing is just like general admission unless you have a ticket." I don't know.
I've been to a show there that was general admission, but it was because it was supposed to be in the parking lot. It was Angels and
Oh,
Airwaves and Taking Back Sunday
oh weird.
back in the Louder Now era. So they were supposed to play in the parking lot, but there was just a huge storm. So they moved it inside and made it first come, first serve. So we got there super early, got wristbands, and we sat like right behind the pit. And it was at that point, I was like 20. So I obviously had
Yeah,
never been anywhere but the lawn. And it was pretty sick.
that is pretty sick.
True story. Well, yeah, I need reports. We should probably
Well,
do
there's plenty of good tickets available. I
yeah.
don't know
If
what they're gonna
anyone's
do with these
listening
things.
and wants to just throw us some free tickets, like we know you're out there, Mansfield.
Yeah.
Like we know the tickets are not
I'll
being
even
sold.
give you your ticket back for the Offspring. I only want to see Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory.
Yeah, I looked
I don't
at.
think
Hold on, I
I don't
looked at the
I don't think I'm gonna be
Offspring's.
convincing anyone to stay. You have to go soon, by the way.
Oh no, that changed.
Oh,
We adapted. I looked at the Offspring's set list.
yeah.
They're playing original Prankster sixth. That seems like the all right. I'm heading out.
The other thing too about possibly buying tickets on the secondary market for this is that like we're gonna want to buy like 5 tickets, which
Yeah.
I don't know. So the cheapest for 5 is 47 each.
The thing is,
I don't. This
there's
can't be a $300 night.
there's full rows empty. So I'm
Right.
thinking you can just plan ahead of time, even if you're not stealing great seats. But you know, like section, what is that? 13.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows where there's
Right.
basically no seats sold. So I think you can be fine getting together. I don't think they'll
Yeah.
care.
That is true. I don't know. I'm gonna try to like if someone like has if someone works for a radio station
Yeah,
and like has free tickets, and like
yeah.
I'll pretend to be the seventh caller or whatever. Like
I used to.
I think it would just kind of be fun to go. But I also don't need to go. There's not a lot of pressure on me to go to this thing.
Sitting down low is $158. If you want to see noodles up close, that's what it's going to cost.
Want to see him noodling?
I argued they should let us go in the pit for Newfound Glory and then let us leave. Like I promise you, I will go to the lawn after that, watch Jimmy Eat World, and then head out.
Is Newfound Glory
First,
before?
7
Wow.
p.m. believe it's 7. So like I don't think I could get there in time.
Oh
and
God,
then I'd
it's
be
probably so
cranky.
empty for them because like
Yeah,
even during that blank Green Day tour when Saves the Day opened, it was just like empty.
yeah, it usually is. Like Thrice is my favorite band, as has been stated. I didn't see them when they opened for the Deftones because I saw clips and they'd be playing like
Mm.
amphitheaters and like people are walking by talking, like nobody's paying attention. It seems like Newfound Glory does get some activity with the crowd, but like the crossover isn't 1-to-1,
No, I
especially
just
if you're, I don't know.
I want to have a conversation with whoever decided to charge $158 for this tour. Like, what were you thinking? Do you regret it? Are you going to change things in the future? Are you going to adapt after this?
I don't know. I just realized my mic is making a lot of noise.
I don't hear it.
Oh, all right. Well, it's just me. Anyways, Doug, I think what was clear from this podcast is we just wanted to talk to each other. And so we did that. We apologize to all listeners. I did want to add one last thing. I, prior to yesterday, in my 39 years of life, had been stung by an insect with a stinger once in my life.
Oh,
That number is now up to like 6
oh no.
because I had company yesterday and the wasps, there are wasps living in like my door jamb, sort of like behind some
Yeah.
white piece of metal. And so I just kind of, someone's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, let me see. And there was like 15 in there, all like, and I was like, oh, there's a lot. And then they came out. And so they were kind of ruining the vibe. And then I took a swing at one.
Oh.
Do not do that. They, my wife looked it up because my daughter got stung. Um,
Oh no.
they start letting out a scent that says like there's an attack on our nest.
Oh.
So I got stung like 3 times maybe, and I went downstairs and I came back out like 15 minutes later. I thought they were gone, and I walked right into a cloud of wasps, and I had like Italian ice and like ice cream sandwiches and spoons, and I don't know what happened, and I just chucked all the spoons, and like everyone was laughing at me as I was getting like stung in the back, stung in the arms.
Wow.
It didn't tickle. I didn't like. It wasn't deep pain, but I would not
Yeah.
want to do it again. You know.
I got stung by a bunch of wasps when I was 4, I think. I remember the event, but I don't remember like how bad it hurt or whatever. But then I think after that, I didn't get stung by a bee until my birthday in 2008 or 9. It was whatever day Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died. It was my
Wow.
birthday. I got stung by a bee. And I haven't been stung since. So I've got a pretty good track record now, but maybe in another 15 years, I'll get stung by another bee.
June 25th, 2009, you got stung by a bee.
Yep.
July 27th,
Documented.
2025,
I was in
I
North
got.
Dakota or South Dakota. I don't remember which one.
Doesn't
Michael
really
Jackson
matter.
died. Farrah Fawcett died. Got stung by a bee. Eventful day in the lives of many.
Yeah. So yeah, just PSA if you've got wasps. So I did have to unfortunately resort to the spray, and now I got to go remove it after this podcast. I got to get rid of the nest.
I've got one more take.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, have you ever seen a yellow jacket?
It's a bee, right? Is it
It's
different?
enormous.
Okay.
It is so big that like I can understand based on the size of it why teams are named after this thing because it's
Yeah.
very like intimidating, but they don't really do anything. They don't really like attack anyone or
Really?
sting anyone. I feel like Georgia Tech should be the Wasps instead of the Yellow Jackets.
Well, I don't know the difference between a wasp and a hornet, but I did respect the Charlotte
Oh,
Hornets a lot more after yesterday. Like, is a wasp a hornet? I don't think so. But it's the same spray. They are different, but
Hornets are huge too.
yeah, I don't know if these were hornets or wasps, but it sucked.
Yeah,
Black Hornet
yeah.
was it? It was a black hornet. It looked like and that's like that sounds like a superhero, right? Is that a superhero? The Black Hornet?
I haven't
It's
seen the new
gonna be. I'm
Marvel,
gonna
but
write
it's
the comic
fucking
book.
nuts.
I'm gonna write that after this. The Black Hornet.
All right, I
All right,
think I
Doug.
think this will do it. It was good talking to you. We'll do this again soon. We'll do this. We'll do another one this week. How's
Yeah,
that sound? Maybe like
yeah.
Thursday or something.
I had a joke. We're gonna do an emergency podcast maybe after the concert.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just
After what?
strictly do that.
And that's Wednesday night, I think, right?
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
Well,
Well,
we'll
someone help
see.
me get $1 tickets to that show because I know they're out there. And we will talk to you guys again this week. Goodbye.
See ya.